The sky above the dead moon was always gray. There were no birds, no clouds, just broken ships, rusted machines, and piles of metal junk as far as the eye could see. Jack moved slowly through the junkyard. He was a human scavenger, always searching for anything he could sell. He wore a dusty brown coat, thick boots, and carried a small scanner in one hand. His eyes were sharp. He had seen enough danger in life to stay alert. The scanner beeped. Jack frowned. Buried metal. Could be a power cell. He dropped to one knee and began to dig. Dust flew up as his hands pulled away broken parts and scrap. Finally, he saw a metal crate, half buried in the ground. It looked old, but not broken. He tapped the side. "What's inside you?" Then he heard it, a soft sound, like a whisper. Then a bang, something hit the inside of the crate from within. Jack jumped back. "What the hell?" Then came a tiny, trembling voice. Please. Don't eat me." Jack's heart skipped a beat. He looked around. Was someone playing a trick? Again the voice came, weaker this time. "Don't eat me." Jack knelt down and looked closer. The crate had a seal, but not locked. He hesitated for a moment, then slowly pulled the latch open. The top creaked. Inside, in the corner of the crate, curled up like a small ball, was a girl. Not a human girl. She had silver blue skin, large glowing eyes, and soft hair that shimmered like moonlight. She was tiny, no bigger than a child, but her body was thin, weak, and shaking. She covered her head with her arms, terrified. Jack froze. She was an alien, a mini alien girl. She didn't move. She didn't speak. She just stared at him like he was a monster. Jack raised both hands. Hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you." She didn't understand. She flinched at his every word. "Look, I'm just a scavenger," he said softly. "I don't eat people or aliens." But she kept shaking. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. Jack sighed. "Poor thing. How long were you in there?" He looked inside the crate. There was nothing, no food, no water. Just a few soft cloths and one broken toy. Jack's chest tightened. She must have been locked in for days. Maybe more. He reached into his pack and pulled out a water bottle. Slowly, he placed it near her. She didn't move. He pushed it gently closer. "Drink. You'll feel better." She stared at it. Then at him. Finally, she moved slowly, carefully, and grabbed the bottle. Her small hands shook as she tried to open it. Jack helped her open the cap. She sniffed it first, then took a sip, then another, then another. She drank fast, like someone who hadn't tasted water in forever. Jack watched her. "Someone locked you in there, didn't they?" She said nothing, but her eyes lowered. Her fear spoke louder than words. He looked around. This part of the junkyard was far from the main path. No one would find her. No one even cared except him. He stood up and held out his hand. "Come with me. I've got food, shelter. Safe place." She backed away. Her body pressed to the crate's wall. Jack didn't move. He waited. After a long pause, she crawled forward, just a little. Her small hand touched his. It was cold, light, fragile. Jack wrapped his fingers around hers gently. "You're safe now." She looked up at him, confused. No one had touched her like that before, not kindly. As he helped her out of the crate, her legs gave out. She almost fell, but he caught her. "You're too weak," he said. "Don't worry, I've got you." He carried her through the junkyard, back toward his camp. The wind howled softly behind them, carrying the scent of metal and dust. From her arms, the tiny alien girl whispered one more time, almost to herself. "Humans. Eat us." Jack shook his head. Not this human. But deep inside, a question burned in his mind. Who left her in that crate? And more importantly, were they coming back? The small fire crackled gently in Jack's camp. Outside, the wind made the metal sheets rattle. Inside, under the warm light of the fire, the tiny alien girl sat curled up in a blanket. Her silver-blue skin looked dull now. Her eyes watched everything, but her lips never spoke. Jack placed a bowl of soup on the table beside her. "It's not poison," he said with a soft smile. "Just soup, real food." She didn't move. He sat across from her, chewing his own food slowly so she could see. "See? I eat it. I'm still alive." But she kept staring at the bowl like it was a trap. Hours passed. The girl didn't take even one bite. Jack sighed and leaned back. "I don't get it. You're starving, you're weak, but you still don't eat. Why?" She didn't answer. She just pulled the blanket tighter around herself like it could protect her from everything in the galaxy. At night, Jack pretended to sleep. He peeked through half-closed eyes. She crawled slowly to the bowl. Her tiny fingers hovered over the spoon. Then she stopped and looked at Jack. He didn't move. She backed away again. Still hungry. The next morning, Jack found the bowl untouched. "Still full," he muttered. "You really think I'm going to cook you?" He rubbed his face and stared at her. "Who made you so scared of humans?" She flinched. Jack reached into a box and pulled out a small voice translator. It was old and dusty, but it still worked. Sometimes. He tapped it. "Maybe you'll talk if you understand me." The girl's eyes followed his hands carefully. He turned the device on, then pointed at himself. "Jack," he pointed at her. "You?" She didn't answer. He tried again. "Name? Your name?" The device made a soft hum. Then she whispered something, just one word, "Zira." The translator buzzed. "Zira." Jack smiled. "Zira, that's your name. Nice to meet you." She said nothing. But for the first time, she didn't look away. He gave her the translator and let her hold it. Then she said something fast in her own language. The translator tried to keep up. "Human. Cook me slowly," it said. Choked on his drink. "What? No, I'm not. No. Zira blinked. She didn't understand why he laughed. Jack wiped his face. "Zira, listen, I don't eat people. Or aliens. I'm not that kind of human." She looked confused. He picked up the bowl again and offered it with both hands. "Eat, you'll feel better, I promise." Zira stared at the food. Then, carefully, she took the spoon. She sniffed it. Her face twisted like she still expected poison, but she took a small bite. Then another. Then she stopped and looked at him. "Why, help me." The translator buzzed. Jack looked at the fire. "Because no one else did." Later that day, Jack brought her an old jacket. "You'll freeze without this," he said. Zira touched it, confused. "Gift?" Jack nodded. "Yes, a gift." She tilted her head. "Slaves don't get gifts." Jack's face went cold. "You were a slave?" Zira nodded slowly. She picked up a stick and drew a picture in the dirt. A small alien girl in a in a cage, big creatures around her, and one human figure in the corner. Jack stared at it. "A human sold you?" Zira didn't answer, but her eyes turned wet. She wiped the picture away. Jack stood up and looked toward the stars. His fists were tight. "No one's going to hurt you again," he said. "Not while I'm alive." But inside, a new question. Burned, was she running from slavers? Or were they already watching and waiting? Jack couldn't sleep. Zira was finally resting in the corner of the camp, wrapped in the old jacket. Her small breaths were soft, careful, like she didn't trust the air around her. Jack sat by the fire, holding the translator in his hands. He had fixed weapons before, repaired engines, even patched up broken bots. But this was different. He wasn't fixing a machine. He was trying to fix fear. He tightened a few wires, cleaned the rust, and reattached the chip with steady hands. The screen blinked green. He gave it a slow nod. "Okay, old friend," he whispered to the device. Let's help her talk. The next morning, he knelt near Zira and gently tapped the translator on her side of the blanket. She opened one eye. It works now, he said softly. Try it. She blinked. He gave it to her again. But this time, when she spoke in her alien tongue, the translator didn't buzz randomly. It spoke clearly. Why do you not kill me? Jack was stunned for a second. I don't kill innocent people. She hesitated. But humans do, Jack sighed. Some do, but not all. She stared at him. In my world, humans came in ships, took the weak, sold them. Jack looked away. He didn't know what to say. I was small, easy to carry. Easy to hide, Zira whispered. They said I would be worth something. Because I look cute. The word cute came out like poison on her tongue. She held the translator close and looked into the fire. But when the buyer died, they locked me in a crate, said someone else might want me later. Jack's fists clenched. They left you like trash. Zira nodded. I waited in the dark, no food, no time. Just cold. I thought I was already dead. Jack couldn't breathe for a second. He looked at her, so small, so broken, but still alive. You're not trash, he said. You're brave. Zira's lips trembled. I am afraid all the time. Brave doesn't mean no fear, Jack said. It means moving forward despite fear. Zira followed him outside later that day. She walked slowly, holding his sleeve like a lifeline. The junkyard stretched far under the gray sky, full of metal bones. Why do you live here? She asked. Jack shrugged. It's quiet, and no one tells me what to do. Zira looked up. You were a soldier? The translator paused before answering for her. Jack nodded. Long ago. I left after the war. Couldn't follow orders anymore. Zira tilted her head. Were you broken? Jack chuckled, but it was a dry sound. Maybe, a little. She looked down. I'm broken too. No, he said firmly. You were just hurt. They stopped near a broken ship. Zira stared at the giant engines like they were ghosts. I had a sister, she said quietly. She was faster, louder. She fought them when they came. I just hid. Jack knelt beside her. You survived. That takes strength. Zira didn't reply. But her hand slowly moved to his. She didn't flinch this time. That night, the stars above the junkyard were bright. For once, the sky seemed less dead. Zira sat by the fire with Jack, eating a small piece of fruit. Her voice was soft, but her eyes clearer than before. Are all humans like you? Jack shook his head. No, but maybe there should be more. Zira smiled. It was faint, shy, but it was real. Jack looked at her and knew something had changed. She didn't just understand his words now. She was beginning to believe them. But far away, in the shadows of the junkyard, something moved. A small red light blinked on a broken drone. A camera lens turned. A soft click echoed in the dark. Zira didn't see it. Jack didn't see it. But someone else had found them. Someone who had been looking for her. It started with the wind. It wasn't normal wind, not like the soft breeze that passed through the junkyard every evening. This one was sharp. Too sharp. It carried something new in the air. The scent of burned fuel. Jack's eyes narrowed. He stepped out of the camp and scanned the horizon. That's when he saw it. A ship. Black, sleek, silent. It had landed far beyond the ridge, where the metal towers leaned like broken bones. Jack's fingers tightened around his scanner. Nobody lands out here, he whispered. Zira was inside the shelter, playing with the broken toy Jack had repaired for her. When he walked in, her smile faded. You look worried, she said through the translator. Jack didn't lie. A ship landed. Not far, could be scavengers. But I don't think so. Zira's face turned pale. Describe it. He did. Her hands began to shake. It's them, she whispered. The ones who locked me in the crate. Jack froze. You're sure? I remember the shape, she sighed, and the sound, like a growling beast. Jack moved fast. He grabbed supplies, weapons, water, a map. Zira stood, her small body trembling. Will you give me to them? Jack stopped and turned. What? She looked down. They pay. Money for aliens. They hurt people who help us. He knelt in front of her and took her hands. Zira, I'm not selling you. I'm not giving you to anyone. She stared into his eyes. Searching for lies. She found none. They moved through the junkyard at night. Jack. New secret paths, old tunnels between crushed ships. Places only loners like him remembered, but Zira wasn't strong. She could barely walk fast. So Jack carried her again, holding her close against his chest. Sorry, she whispered. I'm slowing you down. Jack shook his head. You're worth it. She held onto him tighter. Behind them, shadows moved. Inside an old wrecked cruiser. They found a hiding spot. The air smelled of oil and rust, but it was better than open ground. Zira sat in silence, her hands gripping the blanket Jack gave her. He peeked through a crack in the metal wall. He saw movement, 3 figures walking. All armored. One held a scanner. They're tracking something, he whispered. Zira's voice cracked. They track by scent. They used to say aliens like me smell sweet, like fruit. Jack gritted his teeth. Monsters. He watched as the men stopped and knelt near a piece of cloth, Zira's old scarf. One of them held it to his nose, grinned, and nodded. Then they turned, walking straight toward the cruiser, inside the broken ship. Zira grabbed Jack's arm. We can't fight them, she said. They'll take you too. Or kill you. Jack looked down at her. I'm not letting them take you again. He opened a hidden panel and pulled out an old shock rifle. Dusty but loaded. Stay here. Don't move unless I tell you. Zira shook her head. No, I won't hide while you die. Jack blinked. Something had changed. The girl who once feared he would eat her now wanted to protect him. Footsteps echoed outside. Metal boots on metal ground. Jack waited in the shadows, breath steady, finger on the trigger. Then dash clanged. The main door creaked open. A voice called out, low and mocking. Little Zira. We know. You're here. Your new pet human can't hide you forever. Zira's eyes widened. It was him, the slaver captain. She whispered. His name is Varn. He bought me once, then tossed me like garbage. Jack's jaw clenched. I'll deal with him. Zira reached for his hand. Don't die, she said. Jack gave her a grin. Not today. The metal door hissed open. Jack stepped out with slow, careful steps alone. His rifle hung on his shoulder, but his hands were up, empty. 3 armored men turned toward him. Their leader Varn grinned like a wolf. Well, look who came crawling out, Varn said. The junkyard hero. Jack stopped a few feet away. His voice was calm. You're looking for the alien girl. Varn raised a brow. And you're offering her up. That's new. I thought you were the honor type. Jack didn't blink. Honor doesn't keep you alive out here. The men laughed. Varn leaned forward. You want something in return? Jack nodded. Food, fuel, a clean ID chip. Varn smiled wider. Clever. You fixed her up, didn't you? Gained her trust. Now you want your prize. Jack didn't answer. He just stared coldly, but inside, every muscle in his body burned with rage. He wasn't selling Zira. He was playing a game. A very dangerous one. Back in the cruiser wreck, Zira listened through a small radio Jack had left with her. His voice came through, low and steady. She clutched the blanket tighter, heart pounding. He was lying to them. For her. No one had ever lied to protect her, only to hurt her. Varn motioned to his men. Follow him. If he lies, shoot him first. Jack turned without speaking and walked back toward the trap he had planned all night. He had studied this junkyard for years. He knew its secrets. And he was about to use them all. He led them through narrow paths, under broken ships, and into a hollow cargo bay filled with loose metal. "You hit her in here?" one soldier asked. Jack nodded. Then he stomped the floor twice. A signal. Zira, still weak, pressed the button Jack gave her. Boom. A small explosion shook the left side of the bay. The slavers jumped. Jack moved fast, grabbing a loose pipe and slamming it into the nearest soldiers. Head. The man fell. The second one turned too slow. Jack pulled the shock rifle from under his coat and fired. Blue light hit the man's chest. He dropped, twitching. Varn, already moving, pulled a blade and charged. "You tricked me." Jack blocked the first slash, barely. Then another. They struggled, falling over metal crates. But Varn was stronger. He slammed Jack against a wall. "You think she's special?" he growled. "She's nothing. A broken toy. You'll die for a toy?" Jack spat blood. "She's worth more than your entire crew." Varn raised the blade, but before he could strike, Zira screamed. From behind him, she had come out of hiding. Her hands were shaking, but she held a glowing old energy tool. Not a weapon, but sharp enough to burn through skin. "Step away," she shouted. Varn laughed. "You? What are you gonna do, little fruit rat?" Jack saw it in her eyes. Not fear. "Fire." Zira lunged. The tool burned into Varn's arm. He screamed, dropping the blade. Jack tackled him from behind and knocked him cold. With one final blow, then silence, only their heavy breathing. Later, Jack sat on a crate, nursing a deep bruise. Zira sat beside him. Quiet. He looked at her. "I told you to stay hidden." She looked up. "You lied to protect me." "I came to protect you." Jack smiled weakly. "We make a good team." Zira leaned against his side. "Do all humans protect the weak?" Jack shook his head. "No, but the good ones try." A long pause. Then Zira whispered, "I think you're one of the good ones." But far above the junkyard, in the stars, another signal was sent. The slavers had a backup, and someone else had just received Zira's location. The sky turned dark again, but this time, not from clouds. A second ship had entered the dead moon's airspace. Bigger, faster, meaner, its lights scanned the junkyard like glowing eyes searching for prey. Inside the wrecked cruiser, Jack was packing fast. "Get ready," he said. "They're coming." Varn was just the scout team. Zira stood still, her small hands clenched. "They know we're here now." Jack looked at her. "We run, head to the caves. They won't find us there." Zira didn't move. "I don't want to run," she said softly. Jack froze. "You don't have a choice," he snapped. "You saw what they did, what they'll do again." Zira walked to the table and picked up the shock rifle. "I do have a choice, and I choose to fight." Jack stared at her. This was not the same fragile girl who had once begged him not to eat. She had fire in her now. Real fire. They moved fast under the junkyard's rusted skin, through secret tunnels and long-forgotten service shafts. The deeper they went, the darker it got. Jack led. Zira followed, gripping the rifle tight. Her steps were quiet, focused. Every sound made her ears twitch. Then they heard it. Footsteps. Close. Too close. Jack grabbed her arm and pulled her behind an engine block. Two shadows passed, speaking in low voices. "Orders are clear," one said. "Find the girl. Kill the human." Zira held her breath. Jack whispered, "We'll wait, then head north." But suddenly, crack. A loose pipe under Zira's foot snapped. The shadows turned. "Over there." Jack fired first. One enemy dropped, but the second fired back. Sparks exploded from the walls. Metal screamed, "Run!" Jack shouted. They dashed into the next tunnel. Zira turned and fired the rifle behind them, shocking the second man. He hit the wall hard. Jack looked at her. "You've done this before?" "No," she said. "But I watched you." They reached the caves just before the second ship's spotlights passed over the hill. Inside the dark stone tunnels, it was cold and quiet. Zira dropped to her knees, breathing hard. Her hands shook, but not from fear this time, from adrenaline. Jack sat beside her, panting. "You saved my life," he said. Zira looked at him. "You saved mine first." Jack stared into the darkness for a while. "They won't stop," he said. "As long as you live, they'll keep hunting." Zira looked down. "You want me to run again?" Jack paused. "I want you to live." She turned to face him. "I want to live too, but not as prey." Later, by a small cave fire, Jack cleaned the rifle. Zira walked over with something in her hand. An old kung chip. "Found this in the tunnel," she said. "Still working." Jack checked it. "Signal range is short." "Good," she replied. "Then they can't track us." "But maybe we can track them." Jack raised an eyebrow. "You want to hunt the hunters?" Zira gave a small nod. "I'm tired of being the one who runs." Jack smiled. "You've changed, Zira." She looked at him. "No, I'm just remembering who I was before the crate." Just then, the cum chip crackled. A voice. "Zira, we know you're alive. And we're coming. No more cages this time. Just fire." The voice laughed. Zira didn't flinch. Jack stood, loading the rifle. "They're close." Zira looked into the fire, then let them come. The cave was quiet. Too quiet. Zira sat beside Jack, staring into the dim firelight. The air was tense. Outside, the enemy was still out there, waiting, watching, moving closer. "They'll be here soon," Jack said, checking the last charge on his rifle. Zira didn't speak. She was holding something, her old toy. The same broken one Jack had found with her in the crate. He looked at her. "You scared?" She nodded. "Yes, but I'm not going to hide," Jack smiled. "Good, me neither." They stood together. Two small figures in a big, cold world. But they had something the hunters. DIDN single quotes T. Each other. The enemy came at dawn. 3 dark figures moved through the junkyard. Scanning, sweeping, aiming. The lead soldier spoke into his cum. "We found their signal. Final sweep. Capture." The girl, "No survivors." They stepped into the cave. Empty. 2 empty. Then dash boom. A small explosion shook the rocks. Dust filled the air. From above, Jack dropped like a shadow from the rocks, rifle raised. He fired fast. 1 down. The second turned, but Zira was already behind him. She jumped from the side tunnel, landed on his back, and shocked him with the energy tool. Sparks flew. He screamed. The last soldier raised his blaster, but a trap wire Jack had set snapped tight around his legs, pulling him backward into a metal wall. He dropped unconscious. Silence. Zira stood, chest heaving, eyes wide. Then she smiled. Later, at the edge of the junkyard, Jack buried the slaver's gear under scrap. No signals left. "No one will find us now." Zira stood beside him. "You think they're gone for good?" Jack looked at the sky. "No, but we're not helpless anymore." Zira turned to him. "You could leave, go anywhere. You're not stuck here like me." Jack shook his head. "I was stuck long before I found you." She blinked. "You mean you were lost?" "Yeah," Jack said. "Until you came crashing into my life in a crate." Zira laughed for the first time. Not just a small smile, a real laugh. It echoed in the air like sunlight breaking through clouds. Back at the camp, Jack had cleaned up the old shelter, fixed the broken walls, set up lights, even planted a few small seeds in the corner. It wasn't much, but it looked like home. Zira sat on the soft mattress he'd built for her, watching the stars through a cracked roof panel. Jack brought her a warm drink. She took it. "Is this what family feels like?" Jack looked at her. "Maybe," he said. "Or maybe it's the start of one." She leaned against his side. "Will you still be here tomorrow?" "I'll be here," Jack said. As long as you want me. Zira closed her eyes. Forever then. But far beyond the junkyard, in deep space, a signal blinked on an ancient screen. Coordinates. Zira's bloodline. Still alive. And watching. A female voice spoke in a strange language. Tell the princes. Her world waits. The heir is not forgotten.